Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's episode 79 of the Audible Farm podcast, and this week it's brought to you by Couchtown Coffee. So go to www.couchtowncoffee, find a coffee you like, and make an order. When you make an order this week, you can save 20% because they support live music. And you know what? It's great. I love the fact that Andrew himself, the roaster over at Couchtown, he himself is a musician. So that's really cool. Cheers, Andrew. I really appreciate it. Got to get me some of that Couchtown coffee. It's my favorite coffee. So go to www.couchtowncoffee.com. Find a coffee you like, make an order, enter the code word JAM. The code word this week is JAM. And you can save yourself 20%. Why is the code word this week JAM? Because I am sitting down with Clint Riedel and Jesse Wilson. Clint and Jesse, I see them at the jams in Barnum quite a bit. Clint hosts the jams, and Jesse's been showing up at the jams for the last year or so, and he's been absolutely killing it. It's one of those cool things where I'm relatively new to the scene, I guess, and somewhat so is Jesse. I mean, he's played in bands before, but this is kind of his first venture into the solo thing. We kind of get into that a little bit, how he got started playing solo music, writing his own music. That's really cool. It's kind of fun. Clint had us both over to his place, and we kind of just did a little bit of a pass the microphone around and talk a little bit. Me and Clint were talking a little bit about how weird it is this coronavirus has kind of put a lot of musicians out of work, which it's not really that cool. So we discussed that a little bit. There's a lot of musicians staying really busy. Check it out. Some of them are doing live casts. You can Venmo them money, donate money, do all sorts of things like that. Some of them are making videos. Some of them are recording music. It's going to be pretty fun. I bet there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out by the end of the month from all the bands, Northern Iowa and beyond. So check it out. I'm really excited to see what all the musicians and artists are doing while they're quarantined in their houses. So keep up the good work, everybody. I hope you guys enjoy this awesome episode with Clint Riedel and Jesse Wilson.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
All right. So, Audible Farm Podcast, sitting down with Clint Riedel.
I'll see you again, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. This is going to be a nice, fun episode because I was talking with you last night, and we were going to record a podcast last night, but I forgot some equipment. I forgot the recorder, actually, the most important part, and I forgot it. But so we were conversing, and this seemed like a good topic to touch on because it affects a lot of people that listen to this, and it's obviously the coronavirus thing going around, and a lot of you guys seem to be, in essence, out of work, whether or not it's hobby work or whether or not it's actually your job, and that's kind of crazy to think about, that there's no live music right now.
I know a lot of cats are taken to the live streaming of like their concerts. I think Tank Anthony's putting one on tonight, I think, and I know Joe and Vicky Price will have theirs up. What is it, the 23rd Saturday, I believe. But yeah, and then Matt Woods and Ryan Doty and everybody, like, we're just getting by as we can and brainstorming, and like I've had a couple good ideas. Like my brother, Mr. Jeremy Ober, whom I love a lot, is without income basically. He's still got lessons and stuff. But then I thought, well, why don't we just start releasing 99-cent, like singles, because you can only throw so many live concerts. People are like, okay, I'm still not at the bar hitting on the drunkest chick there, which is half the reason you go to concerts or whatever. And then, but like, we can still support him in that direction. Like,
yeah.
And he's got so many killer ass songs anyway, so why not just set him out there? Because it's going to be hard for all of us to pool some money at this point and like make an album. But with Brad Hofing at the helm, he's freaking amazing. He can produce that stuff real quick, real well, and then we can get it out to the masses at 99 cents a song. And just I hope everybody supports everybody through this stuff because it's nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, generally speaking, I have seen anybody that has, I don't know, any ties in the music scene, throughout Iowa have been putting on, like, hey, we don't have a show this night, but instead we're going to, set everything up so we can have a live stream of us playing what would be our set at that show anyways. So if you wanted to go to the show and you couldn't make it, we'll still have the set live streamed for you to watch. It'll just be in a basement or something like that, you know. I've even seen Ben Hall's Speed of Sound
Yep.
studio. He's like setting stuff up and still going to try to attempt to do things like that at his
Awesome.
kind of recording studio he's got. So that's down in the Des Moines area. Check his podcast out. I did a podcast with him. I got all the deets for him back there.
That must be why I see all this stuff on the Facebook this time.
Yeah.
Because I'm always following Audible Farm and
Yep.
like.
Yeah, he'll post some of the stuff he's doing in the Audible Farm group on Facebook. So that's
Speaking
probably
of
where
supporting each other, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really cool to actually some of the people I've run into actually, like the people up in northern Iowa have befriended and actually know who they are, and that Audible Farm group actually kind of helps bridge the gap that would normally be there. That people don't jump between towns too much. I'm kind of lucky in the fact that I get to kind of live in one place and play in another for the most part. But
yeah, because that hometown hero stuff is really hard. Like Brad told me about that. I'm like, dude, we're playing Manson, your whole family, all your friends, this is going to be nuts, and it's kind of, just a run-of-the-mill regular show, and I'm like, this is your hometown, man, what happened? He's like, nobody cares. They know who I am. They're just like, Brad plays a guitar, and I'm like, oh, that can't be it. And then I played Belmont, my hometown, and I'm like, get ready, I used to serve you drinks and flip your burgers, and now I'm going to rock your socks, and nobody was there. It was like 10 people, seriously.
Oh man.
No, it was horrific and very humbling, and then a reminder that you're just supposed to play to 2 or 200. It don't matter.
Dude, yeah, I recall I've come back up to Humboldt with Three Finger Betty and played shows. If you guys don't know Three Finger Betty, the band, I play in punk band down in Des Moines. But I
did watch you live. Brad and I got done with a show somewhere, and we were driving home, and he's like, hey, man, Peter's, like, streaming right now. I'm like, a concert? I think you were at the Poorhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, we probably streamed that one.
Right on. Yeah, I caught that show, and I'm like, nice, man. I've, unfortunately, always working, so in different towns. I've never caught a Three Finger Betty show.
Yeah.
I may or may not have a Three Finger Betty sticker.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, this is Jesse, by the way.
Yeah, Jesse's here. Yeah, we're gonna hand the mic off to Jesse here.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah. Oh, let's hand it to him now. Jesse,
What's up?
Jesse, what's up? I've actually seen you at Jam Nights here in Barnum, and you're relatively new on the scene to me. I mean, how long have you been playing guitar? We'll talk a little bit more about what's going on, but you started playing at Jam Nights, you play acoustic, you started doing your own tunes, you play covers of other tunes, but you kind of spice them up in your own flavor,
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I was in a band, I don't know, 5 years ago, Dirty Thunder. We played heavier stuff. We covered everything. We had one original at the time.
These mics are crappy. There you go.
Sorry about that.
There you go.
Catch any of that?
Yeah, I got some of it.
So I played a little bit just rhythm there with my cousin singing and a couple guys, and then we kind of broke up. And I hurt my knee a year ago, about to the day.
Uh-huh.
And I told myself if I'm going to be laid up for that long, I'm going to get better at playing guitar. And I started singing and playing every day, and this is how this evolved in 1 year. Big ups to him, Clint Riedel, for throwing the jam every Tuesday. That's like a live show whenever you want to come get your,
Dude, it is a beautiful
Cut your
place. I have to say,
So fuck Ashton.
Clint's talking smack about Ashton. No, it is probably one of my favorite places as far as a jam night. It's low pressure. The place could be packed, and it still seems low pressure. You know what I mean? It's like
starting to get that way. It wasn't always that way.
dude. Have you ever played at like a jam night or gone to one where like Patty's used to just be packed wall to wall with just murderously awesome musicians? People that would just come out of their basements and they're not even in bands and they just
Right.
slay.
Just get together and it works out.
And I'd get up there with some of those people. I'd be like, man, this is so nerve wracking, but like for some reason out here, everybody's so laid back and it's just like, hey, you're playing. It's like, like heck, I played the drums last jam night, and Clint played the drums last jam night for a while. Everybody played, and that's just
keep a little rhythm.
and that's just what it is. Everybody's just kind of having fun. I always feel like this is one of the best environments as a jam night to just kind of come
You've
in.
probably seen a jam or two also in your time. So.
Yeah. Did you pretty much? Is this where you kind of explored playing your songs? Then is just at these jam nights?
Yeah, I mean, I only had a couple songs wrote, and I got hurt, and I started writing. I come over here to jam night to Clint. He's always pushing, like he does like, I don't know, 70. He could do a whole show probably, all originals, and that's admiring singer songwriter Clint Riedel. Yeah, he inspires me with his songs he writes and stuff. So just push me to get better coming over here.
Yeah, man. I mean, just me. I was talking with Clint about this before you guys showed up, but it was I've written songs. I'm not the best songwriter. Like, what drives you to like write music? Because I get so like weirded out by writing my own music and just kind of like trying to like show it to people. It just, I don't know. Like, how did you get past that? Was that ever something that was nerve-wracking to you?
Well, yeah, it was nerve-wracking. I turned the big 4-0 about a week ago, so I started getting rid of my care what people think thing and just push forward with all I got and just let's see what happens.
Yeah,
type of deal.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you said you played around in a rhythm. Played rhythm earlier. Did you guys ever play many shows or anything like that? Or
yeah, we did like I don't know, 4th Street Depot. Our big break was going to be New Year's at Community, but we broke up right before it because the bass player turned out to be a piece of shit. And we don't get into that, but yeah, that was going to be our big break.
Yeah,
we were getting good. Ice Ice Baby was one of our crowd favorites. We played it with the whole band. I did the doom 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 with my guitar.
Oh, sweet. Like, dude, how old were you when all this was going down?
Oh shoot, I don't know, early 30s probably.
Cool, dude. It's like I always feel like when you're in your first band, you're like, dude, this is the coolest thing ever. We are just gonna crush it everywhere we go, all the time, and you can't seem to think you're ever gonna do any wrong. And then sometimes the band breaks up or like things happen. Because like my first band was in high school, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then I started like going watching other people play, and I was like, man, there's a lot of really good musicians out there. I gotta step my game up a little bit, Like, and I feel like you and I have the same avenue though. Like, I sat down for a while. I had a lot of free time, and I was like, I'm not just gonna waste this free time I have. I got to do something with this. So I was like, I've been playing guitar for a while, kind of like you. Like I'd played for 5, 6, 7 years, and off and on, and was just like, I never really got good at this thing.
Right.
I want to try to get good.
I was almost satisfied because I could play a couple songs. No, you got to keep pushing.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I was like. I could play songs. I don't really know what's going on, but like now as a songwriter, you're starting to be like, I can tie these chords together, and this makes a song. And I can throw this chord in here too, and it could add depth to this song. And so you can start thinking about weird stuff like that.
I'm trying to stay around people that are better than me at everything I want to be good at, and I'm just going up.
Yeah,
Mr. Jeremy over, playing around him, you got to bring it when you're around him. So
yeah.
I forget who said that.
Brad Hofing, there's lots of greats that have been over here playing.
Yeah, I mean I think that's one of the crazy things about the area, like in northern Iowa, would be the fact that there's a lot of really good musicians up here. I mean, there's a lot of guys that stay really busy playing a lot of shows, and there's usually a pretty decent turnout at most of those shows. And
I was just getting rolling. Damn you, coronavirus.
And that is a thing though. Like with the coronavirus, like there's no more jam nights, to come play at and stuff like that. You have recently recorded a single, and
Correct.
And it's your first single. Like, congrats, dude. That's got to feel really good. Like,
it does feel really good. Really good.
Tell me about last night, man. Were you sweating the whole time?
Last night I had just the right amount of medicine in me, and I was just feeling it. Tyler was professional as heck. It's going to be amazing just by how he's carrying himself. The venue is amazing. The Junkyard, if you haven't been there, come check it out. Awesome Americana all over the walls. Bartender's kind of an asshole sometimes, but the other ones are good looking, so come on through.
Everyone's got to give Ashton some crap. I'm going to defend Ashton here. Ashton's a good guy. Come to the Junkyard in Barnum. It's a really fun place. No, but like you're recording a video for the whole thing, and it was kind of neat to actually have that happen. It's not quite done yet. You got to do some other stuff to it before it's all done. So it's not quite done yet, but you've recorded the song. Is the song?
Yeah, the song I think is pretty much recorded. It's going to be mixed down. Brad Hofing's going to kill it. All that stuff.
Great.
Yeah. The video, that's the first thing we've done. We're gonna try and have it wrapped by Sunday. It's all happening kind of fast. I think it's all happening for a reason. It feels good. It feels right. The people I'm around. So we're just gonna do it and see what happens.
Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy. Like I feel like all the pieces kind of fell into place, like perfectly. As far as like all of this works for like, it helps get your name out. It helps keep keep people busy, in this time where like musicians can't go out and play something. So I feel like everybody's kind of doing the right thing by like, well, let's just record something then instead, because we can't,
Everybody's got stuff to record, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
time to do it.
yes, and now's the perfect time to sit down and actually spend the time and energy on things like that.
I'm already thinking about the next one. Let's go.
There you go. That's a good way to be though. I can only imagine though, like, how do you feel having, like, when you were recording the video for this, like hearing the song 487 times?
It's actually starting to sound pretty angelic, so I'm liking every time I hear it right now. It's just going to get better. I keep telling myself this is the worst this song's going to hear every time I get kicked over a copy that I know is not, maxed or down or whatever.
Dude, yeah.
That's what's exciting for me because it's already sounding pretty cool.
So it's yeah, dude. So you haven't released this online or anywhere yet?
No, I put a little teaser when I threw a little fishing rod, my lure in one time, but other than that, it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna have to wait for the video, I think, but it's gonna be hard not to leak it.
Dude, that's cool. It's really sweet because there's people up here that have made a lot of music that has seemed to have done well. At least the videos get tons of views online, it seems like, and I feel like you're right in the wheelhouse of that modern country kind of sound that well, I don't know, is there a name for it, like an actual name for the genre? It's country, but it's like
I'm not gonna put myself in genres because I like everything. That's the kind of the feel this has. It's kind of got that new country hip hop beat. Some people hate it. I just heard it and loved it, and I knew that's what I wanted for the song. We might have to put some drums on it sometime. Fernando killed it last night.
Dude, yeah, Fernando
stepped in. He came in, did the drums. Jeremy Ober did the lead guitar on there. I think we got some good stuff.
Well, yeah, dude, it was tons of fun to watch like a drum beat get added to a song and have him play some stuff because he's pretty damn talented himself.
He's very talented. Yep.
So if you ever get a chance to check him out live, check him out. He plays with Tank Anthony, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Dude, yeah, check that out.
They're killing it.
Dude, yeah, they're just absolutely slaying. It is kind of crazy to just see this all come together, and I love seeing the community kind of just come around and help somebody out. It's one of those deals where you're around all the right people to help you out and do all the right things, and everybody's more than willing and happy up here to try to do the best they can to help other people. And within the musician community up here, everyone, I mean, even just me and the podcast has been really, really good. Everyone's high-fiving me. I mean, you got a 3 Finger Betty sticker on your guitar.
Yep.
It's gonna be in the video for I mean,
it's in there.
It's in there. I mean, that's
Jeremy Over wore a Clint Riedel t-shirt for the
yeah. Jeremy Ober's got a Clint Riedel t-shirt on. Even I mean, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's exciting.
I'm actually really excited, having sat there and watched some of it happen, to see the final product. Because I'm not gonna see any of the other recording because you're gonna record other stuff, right? I mean, you were talking maybe having some sort of like a storyline going along to split up just the playing.
Right.
Yep. So like, there's going to be something else going on, not just.
It's going to have a storyline. I think there's going to be an actress involved come Sunday. We're going to get a rooftop shot at the sunset. The weather's kind of screwing us throughout the week. Otherwise, we do some right now, but it's going to be nice around the weekend. We're going to knock it out. It's going to be
great. It's cool. I'm excited to see exactly what goes on with this. It's going to be tons of fun. This is the first time. It's not like I'm an extra or a double or anything in this video. I just sat.
He told me to bring some for Sunday. If I got any friends that want to come, maybe we might use it. We might not, just extra for some part of it. So
yeah, maybe hit them up if any of your buddies are listening to this. I highly suggest hitting them up because it's it could be a fun way to just stand there and look cool while Jesse's out there kicking some ass. Because
that's right.
I don't know, that's some of the funnest thing ever though, is like just the fact that there's like these little pockets of communities that are actually supporting musicians. When I was just so self-conscious playing music growing up that I was just like, I don't know if anybody really actually likes this, and right. I never actually could quite tell. And I think it got to a point, like you said, you just don't really care if people.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like total. I don't care, but if you're rocking with what I'm doing, come on, let's rock. If you don't, I mean, that's on you. I'm gonna have fun with these people over here that are feeling my stuff, and I'm gonna keep it moving like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, you play music, people come up, they come up to your show, they watch you play, they enjoy it, they come back. That's like all you can literally ever ask for. Is just
somebody walks up to you like at a different bar where you're just chilling, having a drink. They're like, "You played at JoJo's or you played at Sneakers that night. You killed the." It's awesome. It feels great.
Dude, that's the coolest thing ever, especially like having somebody come up to you out of nowhere, just to say they actually saw you play somewhere else, and
pretty cool.
and even liked it. It's
That's
like
pretty cool.
it's pretty awesome. And I mean, I even think like we've brought Three Finger Betty up here and played in Fort Dodge up at the Eagles Club, and it's crazy to see people from the community up here coming up and watching my band play. I mean, I've even seen people from the Fort Dodge community coming down, to Des Moines and watching me play. And that's like mind blowing to actually see that happen.
The fans, like I'm not saying fans, but lovers of music. Yeah, the ones that go out and support our dumbasses are like surprised.
Yeah, dude. And I think generally speaking, there's a kind of a comeback when it comes to like people enjoying live music and more willing to enjoy, going out and playing. I don't remember who I was talking to recently, but they were talking about how there seems to be like nobody's genre specific, but everybody kind of picks a lane that they kind of acquire, and there's that. And it's, excuse me, like there's a Tank Anthony band, kind of blues, but there's so much. You can't just call them a blues band.
Vino plays with him, but he plays with
Yeah.
Brutal. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, and Brutal's like a
can do whatever. You can
kind of a
do whatever.
metal-ish rock band, but they're not just that. There's so much more. I mean, that's the thing is like everybody's this one kind of thing, but there's so much more, and every band has so much to offer to literally almost every venue that they choose to play at. So that's one of the coolest things about like
It's
up
a
in
good
the
scene right now.
yeah. I mean,
Real good scene.
everybody seems to fit in everywhere with everyone, and it's kind of neat.
I'm just on the outside making waves. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to just sit on the outside and work your way in though, because it's
Met a lot of cool people, man, so far.
that's one of the other funnest thing is like when I first started jumping into the music scene, I didn't realize down in Des Moines, Ottumwa, like Quad Cities, Iowa City, like everywhere you go, like Fort Dodge, it's just packed. Everywhere is packed full of musicians. Most people are really, really cool too. You can sit down and have conversations with them. Really, really, really good people all around, and it's pretty neat to actually like just go out there and almost every podcast I sit down, I find somebody new like you that I get to sit down and talk to and kind of get to know a little bit, and it's fun to get to do that. And I mean, that's it's kind of what you're doing in a sense, in the area around here. Just like one by one, you're playing shows in different places, getting to see different people. You get other musicians kind of coming up to your shows and like coming to watch you. That's probably the coolest feeling in the world is other people watching.
My main man, Clint's brought me up a couple nights at Sneakers.
Shit, man, I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it too. Jeremy brought me up on my 40th, and we did the song that we're actually recording. He played lead, and that was the first time he'd really ever played the song, and he played front to back lead over it, and it was just angelic, and it was dope. We started doing the recording after that with Brad.
Nice to see what you think is gonna sound like turns into what it
Yeah,
sounds like.
it's already out. It's outgrown me. The song's beyond me now. It's cool watching what it's doing because it's past me now. I know that. So
And, it is really cool to let somebody else give their artistic take on it, as well. Because, like, you just play the acoustic guitar for the song, and you're not shredding any of the leads in the song. That's Jeremy Ober, and it's not to say that like you couldn't if you wanted to, but that's Jeremy Ober.
it's Jeremy Ober.
That's
He's
Jeremy
like,
Ober.
that was the
doing it.
man for the job. He got the job and killed it.
Dude, and it's so cool to just be like, can you add something to this? And then he throws it on there, and you're like, dude, this thing I was doing became so much more now.
Yeah.
And then if you just like,
Right.
can we add a little bit of this to it? And it's just like, boom, now it's even so much more. It's kind of like you could just like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like an analogy. You could just like cook a roast, but if you put seasonings and
Sure.
taters
Jazz
and
it right up.
and exactly, it's just like, dude, now
Brad don't want to be in the video. He's like, nope, behind the scenes guy.
I think that's one of my favorite things about Brad is I've tried to get him on the podcast a few times, and it's not like he's shy. He just likes to do work and just sit there and not necessarily, it's not like he doesn't want to be seen because he plays in Blue Ribbon Ramblers. I
And
mean,
has a blast doing it.
you
From
can
the
go-
show I saw at Shiny Top.
yeah, man,
Killed it.
And I saw you guys at Community not too long ago, and that was a great show too. So I mean, it's great to see him and watch him play live. He just likes to, like I said, do work. He's like the sound guy and all this. He does
Yeah,
all
yeah.
sorts of
He
crazy
soundchecks
stuff
the whole
like that.
band out first, out in the crowd, and then comes and does his bass. He already had the bass, but
God, he-
Like a stallion.
yeah,
It's so crazy. And it's fun to find those kind of people in the music community out there that
Gems,
are
for sure.
exactly just absolute gem. I'm sure he would record stuff for anybody if they wanted him to. I'm sure there's a fee involved as well, but it's justifiable. to have somebody that can do stuff like that. The proof would be in the pudding. Whereas like Clint's got a new song that he has recently recorded, and that's also recorded by Brad as well.
Yep. We laid that down. Oh, that's my cat Goody Two Shoes. She wants out. That's all right. Don't go being a sloop.
So Brad recorded your song and also Jesse's song.
Yep, just hanging out in the scale house right where we're sitting right now, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's, it's really kind of crazy to have that, because like I said, the proof is in the pudding. I know how good your song sounds, Jesse, and I just recently heard a little bit of Clint's song.
Oh yeah, we just Brad put that out on YouTube as of about 45 minutes ago.
Nice,
Yep.
nice. That's cool.
This comes out on Thursday, right?
This does.
So hurry up and get over to YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow, maybe, or hopefully soon, it should be on the Regional Rock Hour. I'm sure that.
Yeah, Josh Mason, thank you for doing what you're doing. I'm gonna somehow send you a link, so maybe you would like to throw this up there, because you still have a job, even though I said ass on the radio. I think it's all right.
Yeah. Yep.
While the World Dies. Oh yeah, that's how you find it on YouTube. Clint
Yes.
Riedel, While the World Dies.
Yep. You can search Clint Riedel While the World Dies, and that's how I searched it, and I found it, so it's definitely there. And it's pretty cool to sit and think like that song was written like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, right before everything just went a little crazy. I was sitting around the house thinking, well, I learned a new chord progression to me, and it was just all in minors, and I'm like, man, this is eerie, and what do you do with that? And I'm like, what else is sad? And like, our president. So I wrote a song about our president, and it just became very topical to this coronavirus outbreak, which I would just personally like to say is really hurting a lot of people. So please go out and support dirty musicians in any way you can. Other than that, it became a very topical song, so I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that like in a matter of like 3 weeks, you wrote the song, you played it on the radio with Josh Mason. Was it Flip Night?
Yeah, that was awesome. So
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, he called me up and he's like, it's Johnny Cash's birthday, so would you come on and do a little Folsom Prison or something? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to play some Johnny Cash for you. And I got there, and the whole day, I had just written that song like 2 days before, and I thought, well, Johnny Cash was a rebel, so am I. All right, let's just surprise Josh Mason. But I was kind of like, Kennedy was in the studio, and I was like, I didn't tell Josh Mason this, but I'm going to play this song like it's an anti-Trump song. Mm-hmm. And she's like, ha, 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 go for it. And I'm like, he won't be mad at the surprise. She's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, all right. And like, as I'm playing that song in the studio, Josh Mason is just like, you can see him. He was like, oh no.
I saw the video. The video ends and it goes off without a hitch. Great song, by the way.
Thank you.
There's a video on Facebook somewhere, but when it's all said and done, Josh is just like, I had my hand on the button, waiting to push the button.
I seriously forgot like half a lyric just because I looked over and saw a bead of sweat, and I was like, oh no.
So,
He didn't see that coming at all, so I just finished it up with a little Folsom Prison. I don't even know how it transferred into each other, but it worked out well.
Yeah. Speaking of good people in the music community, that's another one.
92.1.
Yep.
Give it a listen. Regional Rock Hour every Friday.
Mason, yep.
5 o'clock. God bless him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all sorts of shows going on. Like I said, he has one that's I think it's a promo for sneakers, maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh yeah, their flip night on Wednesdays.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. Well, once again, there goes things that interrupted by coronavirus.
Yeah. Yep.
So, sorry, Holly Campbell. Thank you for your support of live music down there at Sneakers. We'd play. We'd rotate. It was awesome. We'd get a big. Speaking of community, we'd get a big old group chat, and she'd be like, all right, Chris Carr this day, Jeremy Ober this day, Clint Riedel this day, Day Drinkers, my brothers, Jordan Reuter and Caleb Ferry, this day. And it's like, oh, thank you, because a Wednesday gig is not an easy thing to pull, during like off season. Like in the summer, sure, bike nights and whatnot, but like for her to do that through November, like we've been doing this a while. She'd give us all, a paycheck on a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And that sucks. That I think she has curbside food, so don't forget to go out there and get some food.
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel bad for like Cindy and just everybody working there. Like everybody in this field, this industry just service and pleasure, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that how many businesses are actually affected by this. Like almost every
Oh, it
part of
touches everyone's life
yeah
in one way or another.
yeah exactly. I mean to be honest, like it would have been probably the best this week to do a whole bunch of Skype interviews because of the coronavirus. It would have been more fitting, but we're actually sitting down. We're all sitting down face to face.
There's only 4 of us.
There's only 4 of us. We're all 20 feet apart. Thank you.
And I'm drinking Lysol. So.
Jeez, it's brutal. No, I mean, like it's crazy to think that like Josh Mason's out there doing what he's doing. He's giving everybody a voice and giving you guys the ability to play your music to the community. And not only that, but you got all these businesses in town that seem to have found their niche and in agreement. There's nobody really competing with everyone. There's
between
usually
Shiny Top and River Hops.
Yeah,
and, shout out to all those guys too.
Yeah.
Just everybody. There's a real support for live music, and they're not like, hey, we're doing it now.
yeah, we're gonna compete with your show because we heard that yours was good. So yeah, dude, yeah, that's true though. The musicians here are absolutely killing it. You guys are all staying really busy, which is the craziest thing to me. I mean, I'm busy, but I'm not as busy playing music now as I have been in the past, mostly because of school and work. But it's the sense that like you guys it seems like every single night there's one of you guys is playing somewhere, and I say one of you guys like that's 10 to 15 bands
no doubt.
in some sort of form or another.
Yeah, from Beaver Creek to Vino's Jazz Trio. There's music to be had, and we're all always doing it. It's
Absolutely,
amazing.
I mean, there's so many bands that don't get like tossed in the mix that like I said, we could just sit here and just be like this band and that band, but there's so many, like I said, there's so many bands out there that it's kind of crazy to just see every single one of them, and if you miss them, it's like, oh, I can catch them, 2 weeks from now at a different place,
Sure.
or like in between that time, like they might be playing like down in Des Moines or Ames or over in Iowa Falls, or like they might.
And I love that too because say we do go to the like we're over in Iowa Falls and they're not going to make the drive from Fort Dodge, but they happen to have like an old high school buddy that lives in Ackley. Mm-hmm. So they come over and catch the show, and that's just kind of how it happened. And then we started playing Ackley, mm-hmm. and now Brad and I kind of were a constant figure over there. Mm-hmm. No, not one bit. And it's all just like, hey, check these guys out. So that spreads. Just make sure if you're playing to a room of 2 people or 200 that you give it your all, because those 2 people might get you 5 more gigs.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be honest. I mean, as good as Facebook is, as good as social media is, as good as doing all of the I released a song on Spotify, go listen to it. As good as all that is, nothing beats, first off, going to see the band live, but like secondly is like verbal, word of mouth kind of like advertisement for the band. Somebody being like, this is actually really good. I think people should check it out, which is one of the reasons Jesse's here.
Oh, when I was a tattoo artist, that was the exact same way. Honestly, you give one bad tattoo and 1,000 people aren't coming your direction. You give like 100 good tattoos and 100 people like you. So you're known for your negativity.
Yeah, I mean, it literally works. I know firsthand, like Justin Liebert from St. October out of it's Davenport area, but Dustin Liebert actually, like, he was just like, hey, I told a whole bunch of people like verbally to be like, hey, follow Audible Farm. I'm going to send you an invite to it. And he added like 80 some likes to my page in a day. And it's just
helps.
like, yeah. And he just like, I told all these people this was going to happen. And then on one day I was just like, here we go. And, Jesse's back on the mic here. Clint's going to step out. But, while we're on the topic of social media, etc., do you have a Facebook page yet?
Yep, Jesse Wilson. I mean, it's just my regular one. It's not special like to music yet or nothing. But
So you have a profile?
Yep, just my name.
All right. Do you you think you're ever going to make like a Facebook page that's just like a Jesse Wilson music?
Possibly. I think that would be easier to maybe advertise and for just whatever. I'm new to it, so
Yeah.
need a little coaching.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Like, you got a smartphone and you're smart enough. I could set one up for you here.
We might have to do that.
And by the time we're done with this, I can
help
set
me
one
clean up a YouTube channel because I do got some music on there, but it's not. It's all like elementary type stuff. But
yeah, I'd be more than willing to sit down give you some pointers, because that's something that I've been trying to figure out myself, is like the best way to manage all that stuff. So the thing I did was just went out and got one of everything, and was just like, how do I do all this stuff? And I
Start tinkering with it.
Yeah, I kind of figured the best way to go about doing some stuff. So like, the Facebook page is a really easy one, because then, people that aren't your friends can like it, and everybody can like it, and you can just be like, hey, I'm going to be here on this night, and all of them can be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you can share it on your page too.
Right on. I got some music from some gigs and stuff up there. It's some of it sounds good. I put up there, so check it out on my regular page right now, Jesse Wilson. So
yeah,
we might have a Jesse Wilson music project, something in the works tonight.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Maybe we'll work that out. I mean, it's so cool to sit and have like the ability to, have some of these people at your disposal to help you out. It's kind of cool to actually just be able to help anyone out. So if anybody's listening, you want some pointers on any of the social media stuff, I'm not like super whiz kid at it, but I can tell you what I know, and you can use it or do whatever you want with it. Cause I don't know. Cause you can get by pretty easily. It's just tougher to find if people aren't your friend, and so it's like, oh, you made a post and it's not shareable because it's from a profile. Can you make this shareable? You get all that weird stuff kind of going on.
That's
sometimes.
all new to me.
Yeah, it's easy peasy. You got this. I feel like it's pretty cool though. Like I've seen you play at jam nights, and we were talking about how like you don't want to just like pigeonhole yourself as a country artist, because I've seen you like even drop D and play some rock stuff.
Yeah, come to my show and you'll see what I mean. I don't pigeonhole myself per se on stage, because I play everything from Yellow Wolf to David Allan Coe to.
I mean, I've seen you do like rap, and I've seen you do like ska type stuff.
Yeah.
It's everything. It's literally everything.
I got my loop station on there. I'm messing around with that. That's still in its infancy too, and it's just getting better the more I use it. So.
Dude, that's some of the funnest stuff ever, is starting to play a little bit with a loop station.
When I look out and see the crowd, like a 60-year-old woman or man bobbing their head because I made a beat that I looped on my loop station, I'm like, all right, I got you. Here we go.
That's super cool. Are you putting a guitar through a looper and doing it that way? Or?
Yeah, I can loop my riffs or my rhythms or whatever. I haven't really got into doing too much of that. Couple songs, but otherwise I just do the beat, and I got a little egg shaker. Brought it with actually tonight.
That's cool.
Do the hi-hat part.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's pretty sweet. I loved doing that. I've done it like a little bit. I played a show last year in Humboldt where I looped a bunch of stuff together. I had acoustic and electric all hooked into one unit and stuff. And it is a lot of fun. It's tons of fun to sit and be like, well, I'm gonna play Can't You See by Marshall Tucker Band, and then I'm just gonna loop the acoustic and play the electric lead over top of it when I'm not singing.
Same chords.
It's the same chords for the whole song, so it's pretty easy to do.
Yep.
So, I mean, that was like one of the first ones. I was like, dude, I could turn this song into like a 7-minute just epic. And you just start soaking up time with things like that. And I
that's
love
part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
You start to figure out where you fit in some of those things. Have you ever thought about like this? Like, I love to see that most times you go places, people don't usually play the same songs. There's a handful of staples that most people will play and most people have played. Wagon Wheel would be the one that I always point at. Like I hear
Mary Jane's Last Dance. I've heard that by a few cover band type people.
Yep, and I hear it a lot, but it's still good every time because it has a different flavor every time somebody else plays it. And then if you're at a jam night, it's like, oh, it's this guy flavored with those people flavored or whatever. You know, it's like you got this chick on bass, got that dude on drums, or
between me and Clint, we could probably play that a variation of Wagon Wheel in like 10, 15 different songs.
Yeah,
just keep it going.
Oh, that's really cool because, like I said, it's not like anybody's trying purposefully not to step on anybody's toes. I feel like a lot of everybody's personalities comes out in not only what they play that's original, but what they play that's covers, because you get a wide berth of what somebody listens to, enjoys, what influences them when you get to actually go see somebody play for a couple hours.
I saw something pretty cool the other night. I saw Jordan Reuter at a jam. He came up and played a Jeremy Ober song, and then he played also a Clint Riedel song. I thought that was pretty cool. If your peers are wanting to play your songs at their shows or at a jam, I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty.
That's baller, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's super cool. I mean, that harkens back to, way back in the day when somebody would write a song and then whoever covered this, and the Monkees did this and they did a version of it, and think like I Shot the Sheriff, that was redone by how many people, or whatever. But it's pretty cool to actually just have all of that at your disposal, like out here. Just have a bunch of people that are willing to do that and be as original as they want to. Like when I had to play a show, I played a show that was 2 hours was what I agreed to. To fill 2 hours by yourself is pretty tough. I've found I'm not as deep into it as some people are. Filled 4 hours by themselves is pretty wild. I don't know how they can do that.
I'm pretty comfortable with 2 right now. 240. I could do 3 probably, but I might have. I played a couple songs over last time. That's the longest I've played by myself. It was 2 hours and like 40, but there was a couple requests that I already played. Like I do a mean version of Get Low by Little John and the East Side Boys.
That's true.
Acoustically.
That's true.
Come check it out.
Tis true. And that's what I'm talking about. You get all sorts. There's no telling what you're going to hear when you go to play stuff. You might hear somebody covering somebody else's song from right here in town. Like there was an occasion I remember seeing Brutal Republic play a Lone Tree Revival song. Granted, Jeremy Ober's also in Lone Tree Revival, but it's not. There's no horns, so you get a completely different feel for what's going on, and it's really cool to kind of have that kind of stuff go on as far as covering stuff. You have like a bandmate of yours covering your song. We were just talking about Jordan Reuter covering one of your songs.
Pretty cool.
What's that feel like? It's really neat. And it's also cool to, like Jordan Reuter's played like Real Big Fish songs, when I go to see him live, and it's just like, well, this is insane because not only is he doing this, he's throwing capos on there and finger picking stuff, nice. And it's like, dude, this is pretty cool because he's playing a wide berth of stuff,
we both play a little Tyler Childers. I like that about Jordan. We jive on that one for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I always tried to, like when I went to jam nights originally, I always tried to be like, at first I was like, well, nobody's going to want to play Ted Nugent. It's not a jam song. And nobody likes Ted Nugent, and it's just like...
What do you want to play at jam night?
Oh, so Ted Nugent, there it is.
That's the beauty of the Junkyard, though. It's like, who wants to try?
Yeah, exactly.
I will.
And that's crazy because I played at a jam night in Fort Dodge at Patty's, and it was just like, let's play this. It's pretty easy, and it's Stranglehold. It's for the most part, it's only like there's only like 2 really distinct parts of the song if you really want to break it down.
Do them.
Yeah. And it's just that over and over again. Just do that for like 9 minutes. You should be pretty good. For the most part, that's the whole song. But all of a sudden everyone's just like, yeah, I can jam on this. So then I went and played it once at another jam night that was in Bode, and Ron Lee King was there, and I was like, Ron Lee, it's
I got to hear the rest of this story.
It's an A, and he's just like, I don't know. And I was like, no, you'll be good. And he's just like, all right, we'll see what happens. And
shredded it probably.
Destroys it. Just absolutely destroys it.
He's like, I'll try.
Yeah. It's so funny. That's the other thing is there's so many people that are modest that are just absolute killers out here. It's pretty funny.
Beast.
Yeah. It's and that's the other cool thing is I got to play Stranglehold with Ron Lee King and a guy I went to school with at Iowa Central. I went to school older. I was like an older student going there, but I met a younger guy, and he's like, I play bass and guitar. And I was like, can you play Stranglehold? And he's like, yeah, I bet I could. So he just looks it up on his phone while we're sitting there waiting our turn to play. He's like, yeah, I can play this. And it's just like, no way.
That just happened.
So he goes up there and plays it. We played that. We played Going Down, which if you've seen Eastbound and Down show,
oh, yeah.
Which is a pretty funny show.
That's hilarious.
The opening song to that, like that's one of the songs I like to play at jam nights, and it's a semi-popular jam song, but for some reason I never hear anybody else playing it. So I like to play it at jam nights, but I lean a little bit more towards some sort of like a blues and a rock kind of a feel, right. And that's like more my avenue, I guess.
I think I seen you jam one other time. You played a little electric, a little lead, didn't you?
Yeah, that's kind of where I try to lean towards. I'm not the strongest singer, so I try to not sing as much as possible. Or if I do, I try to lean, like I said, into the blues category to kind of, where anything's good.
I'm still trying to figure it all out. I'm trying to figure out where I fit in with my range and stay in my lane there with that, my voice and.
Yeah, let me ask you that. Like, have you always sang? Like, is it something? Did you sing in school growing up?
No, I didn't. I was never in band or like whatever the other class is.
Chorus would be the singing one.
Choir. Yeah, I thought it was always stupid, but now I wish I would have did it back. I wish I would have started back then. If I would have started when I was coming out of high school or something.
Yeah, that's another thing I think about. Like, I played in band in high school, and I played like I don't know, like trumpet. I sang. I was not good at singing. I didn't take it seriously. I didn't care. There was a lot of that going on. Quit rubbing the mic. No. So like I was not good at it, and like the older I got, the less I cared about, play the trumpet, it's stupid, and whatever. And I didn't take it very.
Played the trombone in 7th grade for the record.
And there you go. So you do have a little bit of background in it, but like I didn't take it very seriously. I played all through high school and everything, but I just never really put my heart into it. And then I started playing guitar and really liked it. And I was just like, man, I wish I would have paid more attention when I took when I took my music theory class in my senior year in high school. It probably would have soaked a lot more up and actually used a lot more of it now that I play the guitar. But
We all sound like Vino if we would have paid attention.
Yeah,
Right.
well, yeah, true. Hindsight's always 20/20, and I don't think I'm gonna be like Vino unless I put in my 1,000 or 10,000 hours. That was what they always say. 10,000 hours makes you an expert. Too old to put in 10,000, says Clint. Hilarious. So, where do you see? Like, do you have some more songs that you got? I know you got.
Yeah, for sure. I got some. I don't know. I'm just gonna start. I'm just gonna start going blah and just start writing, and maybe we'll flush some of the bad ones out and see what comes. But
That's cool that you have that.
like, I don't hate any of my originals really. I'm sure other people might not like them so much as me, but I don't hate any of my originals. I got like 5 or 6 right now. So
That's awesome. That's a good way to
See what
feel,
happens.
though. I think you're like got the right positive mindset too to be like, I'm just gonna put stuff out there, and whatever sticks. And
Yeah, I'm good with it.
And whatever doesn't stick, you're not gonna hold.
you either
anything
learn from it, or you might still love that song.
Yeah,
Whatever's
don't hold
still
anything
dope to
against
you.
it. Exactly. Yeah. That's.
They evolve,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could change it into something else. That could be one of those things that's like, I got this song here, and then it's like, well, maybe Jeremy overthrows a lick on this thing.
There'll
and it's
definitely be a remix.
or maybe we pull in somebody else to
Yeah.
throw something down on this.
Yeah,
maybe-
yeah.
Yeah, maybe we throw some drums in on this one and make a full band thing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
all of a sudden this thing is a rockin' tune because it's got
fucking.
this.
It ain't even sad no more. It's like the bitch.
You can swear. It's cool.
I
man.
apologize for swearing before. My bad.
No, it's totally cool. The funniest part is I've rarely ever drop F-bombs on here, but I do it sometimes, and I'm always just like, when I do it, I'm like, "Ew," and then I'm like, well,
one stung a
it's,
bit.
It's cool, but dang, and I even found myself recently apologizing, and especially to my mom if she listens to these things sometimes.
Where can you catch this your podcast at?
audiblefarm.com, the YouTube page, that's youtube.com/audiblefarm, audiblefarm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I did it that way because it was the easiest, because nobody had Audible Farm, so I just took everything that was Audible Farm. So audiblefarm.com, you can find all the links.
Dope name. It's a dope decal. I like everything about it, really.
Yeah, I got some stickers here. I'll totally hook you up with some new stickers for sure. I'm in the works of possibly getting some new merch. I just need to get slightly less busy so I can make it all happen. But
Cool, man.
tax season, it's upon us. I need
Probably
to
file those one day.
Yeah, that's what I was keep thinking. But I'm busy. It's a fun thing to actually go out there, and I never thought about this. Like, I went to school and actually used it. I never, if somebody would have told me like 10 years ago, I would have like went back to school, and while I was doing that, I would have played guitar and learned how to play guitar better, and then not only do that, but like got a new job in the in the field that I studied, and not only that, but started a podcast. And it's like kind of crazy to be like you said, I wish 10 years ago I would have known this, but this is this proper path you got to take to get to where you got to go.
It's kind of like cutting your teeth a little bit too,
Yeah, I didn't know if you'd still be on the stage at this point, right?
Yeah.
You got a legit
Right.
job and shit.
Right?
Yeah.
The old railroad that funds some of the madness.
Yeah, I mean that's some of the other thing is like it's nice
I don't know why I don't have a railroad song, Clint. I think
I don't either.
we should probably knock that out.
You should probably knock that one out. Yeah, that's that would be cool to have. Dude, that would be tons of fun to have like a featuring, or like the two of you put out like a song between the two of you where like you take a verse, he takes a verse or something.
Like original?
Yeah,
that
like
would be cool.
You start like mixing like like the rap people do it, or like there's really popular in like the instrumental guitar scene to do it as well.
We do a mean Folsom Prison Blues.
Yeah, I did see that at one of the recent jams. Actually, on your 40th, the night before your 40th.
Still stings. It's been a few days. That 40 still stings.
Oh man, that's the other thing I keep thinking was like I've actually got some age behind me. I'm a 32 right now. As of this recording, I'm 32. Yes. So like, I think about myself like 10 years ago I was only 22, but I was also should have like should have graduated by college by now, but I didn't go to college. It's like, but that proper path or that path you took gets you to where you're going anyways, because you're here. So, but it's super crazy. I just think about like all of the music I've seen, all of the bands I've seen live, like all of the the things I've done, even though I feel like some of it is, maybe quote unquote time wasted. I could have played the guitar that whole time instead of taking a break from, like 20 to 25 or 6, and not playing almost at all. And, all that wasted time. And I tried my best. Like one of my things I did was I played in a punk band after I learned how to like, oh, this is where music theory actually fits in. And I can figure out what key they're in, and then I can figure out what chords will fit in where, and I can figure out what they're doing. And it was the first time I ever listened to an album. Was just like, this is how this song goes, and I just figured out how to play it. And then I'd listen to it the next song. It's like, this is how this song goes, and I did that with Three Finger Betty. With
listen to it and
listen to it and got it.
That's pretty cool.
The first
good ear.
It's crazy to actually be able to do that, but like you can start to be like, okay, they're in this key, and then it's kind of a cheater for it a little bit, and being able to figure that stuff out is phenomenal. It was very
very helpful.
Yeah, it was good.
I can't do it.
Yo, you could do it. Easy peasy. Okay. You guys could do it. Well, like we were talking earlier, it comes down to putting time in. Me and Clint were talking about this. This is a good one. Like, let's see your topic on this. Like, me and Clint. No, like you keep talking.
Here, I'm on the mic. All right.
Yeah. So, like me and Clint were talking earlier about, like you could put all your time into like being a shreddy guitar dude and just being able to like Eddie Van Halen tap solo and do all the nonsense. Not that it's nonsense, because it's awesome.
That'd be badass.
And I actually want to do that. It's so hard. It takes so much time.
I'm stuck in a box on a blues scale, but I'm pretty sure with the help of Mr. Jeremy Ober, we can get me out of the box, or just
dude. Ober's super good at guitar lessons.
He is still doing lessons during this time of tyranny or whatever you want to call it.
But like if you want to do, it's not impossible to do that. But the amount of time you would have to put in to get that good takes away from your songwriting.
True.
I
haven't wrote a song in months. I'm due.
So it's this weird balance of like, where do you want to fit in there?
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of cool the other night. I did see Jeremy was playing something. You're like, hey, how'd you do that? And he showed you how to do it. And he's like, and then you can do this if you want. And you were like, oh yeah.
Right.
And it's like a light bulb went off. And it's cool to actually. That was one of my favorite parts, is to absorb a little bit of someone else's knowledge. And Jeremy's good for that too.
Very good.
He's. I don't know what he did other than spend the time to get good, because that's
pretty damn humble too. You know what I mean? He's down to earth, cool guy.
Yeah, that's it was another thing. Like I didn't know how humble everyone would be, and for the most part, everyone is ridiculously humble about playing music. And I mean, even I get it in the sense that like me having a podcast and people are like, you're the podcast guy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a podcast guy. And it's like
it didn't really click until like last night and tonight that was the same. Three Finger Betty.
McDonald's and pay for your food, and they're like, I saw your show. You were really drunk.
It is super cool.
Coming back on Saturday, we're doing it again.
It's super cool to see people like out in public that went and saw you at a show. It's probably one of my favorite things ever.
Very cool.
But it's still like, it's humbling. It's weird because like I'm not really 100% sure how to react, and I'm not sure anyone is supposed to know how to react to that other than just to say thank you, because it's really cool. But I also do get a little bit weirded out, just generally speaking, when people notice me and they're like, oh hey, like. I went and saw you guys at Community Tap, Clint, and you were just like, oh, it's Peter Stockdale. He plays, Audible Farm Podcast. And I was just like, like, I'm going to go sit down over here in the booth, and just like sit down quick. And everyone's like, who's that? And it's like, no, I'm nobody. Was
that the full band that night?
That was full band. That was a good show.
Ramblers caused a riot that night, I heard.
That was...
Somebody got stabbed that night.
Well, jeez. What's crazy is it's been a while since I've seen you guys as a full band. So seeing you guys as a full band was so impressive. It was insane, because you got to get some of Jordan's songs that he likes to play and some of your songs that you like to play, and you smushed it all together
play each other's songs
with a full band, and it was very full sounding. It was insane. It was songs had a different push than they normally would if you were to play them by yourself, which is not a bad thing. It's just a different thing, and it's super crazy to have those different flavors of the one, like you said, covering another person's song. That's almost what it's like, or like going to a jam night, but it's like a permanent jam night with your buddies.
Even like last night
pretty
when
cool.
when you were recording your video. Oh shit! Here we go. So even like last night we were watching Jesse record his video. There was this vibe of people just hanging out, and it's like, well, there's B-roll, so let's just play music. So I got to get up there and play with Fernando, and Jeremy showed up a little bit later with his electric and stuff, and and you just sitting around playing as well. It's like, holy cow! So this can evolve, and that's how it started for me. Like I was playing solo with an acoustic, and Gina, God bless her soul, Patty's, God rest it. Honestly, like she was like, you need to meet this guy. He plays drums, and I was like, okay, cool. I'd love to meet another musician. Boom, there goes the Blue Ribbon Ramblers. Like me and Caleb are best freaking friends.
That's awesome.
And then running this jam night, you run into cats like Jesse and everybody else just out there, like give an avenue out. And like I hope people take it. And all of a sudden, I met Brad Hofing. I met Jordan Reuter the same way.
Yep.
And that feeling of when you're actually playing with somebody and that cohesiveness is just, it's really hard to top.
Yeah. So like,
It's hard to match that feeling, honestly. Like when you get that cohesiveness of like everybody getting together on the same channel, making the same noise together. There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, totally. It's crazy to like think about that because like I met Brad, but through the internet, and then Brad was just like, "You got to talk to Clint," and I'd never met Brad even.
He's decent with the social, like the reaching out to the right people for the right things.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that's how I met you, and like as this is your third time on the podcast here, but like you're one of those people that like you've got the jam night over here in Barnum that you host, and it's probably one of my favorite. Like I said, it was one of my favorite jam nights to go to because it's low key. You're cool with anybody going up there doing literally anything they want to. For the most part, I've seen people play flutes up there. I mean, it's there's nothing's off limits. So like,
yeah, like, no doubt. I miss that. Rochelle, she has a real legitimate job, and she just comes around and she's like, I've been taking classical lessons, but I just like this feel and this vibe. So she'll get up there and play along with me to some of my originals, and I'm like, I never would have thought a violin needed to be in the song, but like Rosy Red Eyes with a nice smooth draw on it. Shout out to Rochelle.
Yeah, it's really cool to actually like have that dynamic of things come out because like you never know if you want to record that song, maybe you hit her up and she throws something down.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you never knew that would have happened unless she had showed up to a jam night and you had showed up. And I mean, the whole time I'm saying this, I'm not saying at another jam night they would reject a violinist or something.
Oh, sure, no.
But it's just kind of crazy because it seems like over here you could see literally anything. Like you might see somebody hauling a tuba in here or something. Not that they would or wouldn't, but you never know.
There's been a cello, and one of the most unique. There was this cat out of, gosh, I forget which town, but just a little south of us. Like he took a drive, but he brought up an electrified wash tub bass. It's just like a mop stick and like a wash tub and one piece of clothesline string.
Cool.
Yeah. And you adjust the tone by the tension on that line. Like he's just bending this.
I actually saw Primus play live one time, and
Les Claypool. Yeah, I could see that
came
happen.
out and played
yeah.
one of those. He played it in a monkey suit.
And and when done well, like honestly, that thing was. You can nail some solos that you don't think would occur with washing instruments.
Yeah, it's pretty wild because it was somewhere, like I remember it sounding somewhere kind of like a mouth harp. You remember those songs? Like,
They call them jaw harps, and then it got turned into a Jew harp, but that's not the right correct term.
No,
it's a jaw harp, and but it's that. So I was at Living History Farms on a field trip, and I'm like 13 years old, and the blacksmith there says, anybody know what an apprentice is? And I'm like, of course, everybody knows what an apprentice is. You've seen the Sorcerer's Stone. So I've
seen that Donald Trump show. You're fired.
Oh, no, God.
Okay. Anyways, next.
So I raised my hand. I'm like, I do. And he's like, that's awesome. I'm going to show you how to bend this steel. And he made a jaw harp like in the blacksmith shop. And since I was the apprentice, I helped him make it. So I don't know whatever happened to that, but I used to play it until my teeth hurt because if
Yeah.
you don't do it right, it'll
hits your
just
teeth.
catch you.
I still remember the first time somebody showed me one of those. Sarah Baldus showed me one of those, and I was like, I gotta figure out how to play this thing. And it took me a while to figure out how to get noise to come out, but once you do, it's like
It's bow, bow, bow.
this thing is so cool, and it's they're pretty cheap online actually. You can get one easily for under $10. So,
I wish I had that one I made. I feel bad
That's
for losing that.
pretty neat that you actually made one. You
Yep.
know,
I was the apprentice. I didn't do anything.
well,
He's like, "Don't touch this. It's hot." All right.
Jesse, you play any other instruments? Like, I mean, obviously you play the guitar. You're starting to figure out the lead thing. I mean, it's cool to actually like. I've seen you play here now for the last 6 months or so. I've seen you playing at the Jam Nights in Barnum.
All right.
It's cool to watch you get better and better, even playing leads sometimes. And
Appreciate that, man.
it's-
Appreciate that. I
it's-
feel like I'm starting to get a little grasp on it. The more you mess with it, the better you get. I mean,
I think the funnest part about that was like about a year ago or so, I was in your shoes, you know, so I was starting to like figure out like, okay, they're playing this, and then, you know, okay, they're in A, so then I can do this, and then you start to like do that kind of stuff. You know, I got some,
oh yeah.
I think some of the best stuff was like I was nervous, so I just asked everyone for advice with like, you know, like, I think some of the best advice I got was from Scott Dahl, and it was just like, you know, you just sit back and you just do what you're supposed to do, and you just wait for your time, and then when it's your time, that's when you do the stuff you want to do, you know. And
Sure,
it's just
sure.
like, and it's like, all that makes sense, you know. You're pretty much like everybody's just, you know, kind of playing rhythm guitar until it's your turn to rip some leads,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you just, and then it's hey, it's your turn. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do the lead, you know. So you don't try to get too fancy and go overboard and take over the song and go nuts and. I'm gonna play leads the whole time, even when they're singing. You know,
Yeah,
everyone
no.
look at me. I'm gonna look at wah pedal and the whole 9 yards. You know, so like it's kind of fun to be like, oh, I can fit this. I don't have to go nuts. I can just fit this little lick in here. And
You should check out
there's that. And
check out Break These Chains demo on my YouTube channel. It's very raw. It was one take stuff, and it still kind of shreds. But I want to redo that one with Brad Hofing.
you'll
Check
have,
that video out.
do you know what your like YouTube channel is?
Jesse Wilson. I need to refine it. There's lots of Jesse Wilsons out there, but if you type in Jesse Wilson Break These Chains demo, you'll get to my page. You can.
Okay, yeah, I'll try and track it down and post a link
And we
to
might do a
your
little
channel.
filtering later and mess with that too if you
Yeah,
want to.
I'll try and put a link to that down in my YouTube
cool,
channel,
man.
so that way
Cool.
you can in the description section if anybody wants. That's what I'm gonna try and do, like the best I can. I will tag you in this and at least post links to your YouTube channel where people can watch some of your stuff, and that way
Cool.
you know people can check it out at least.
That's
for
in
when,
its infancy too.
for when
so
that video
it's all
comes
gonna-
out. Yeah, I mean like
it'll be better.
that's like some of the best part though is like starting the thing
Raw.
starting it from scratch, and then you start to see like, oh man, like this is how it actually gets really produced and published and gets to be this actual full thing that I never actually thought it could be because it was this raw when it started.
Very cool.
And it's
With good ingredients, yeah, man, the final product.
yeah,
There you go.
I mean I think about that all the time. Like I don't write my own music and show it to people because I'm like too nervous and stuff or whatever, and I'm not the best songwriter anyways, so it's kind of, you know, double-edged sword. But
It is. You're putting yourself out there.
it's tough to put yourself out there.
It is.
But like John Waugh writes, you know, almost everything for Three Finger Betty, and I say almost everything because he can't play all of it at the same time. That's the only reason he doesn't write everything. But he writes a song, and he'll come to all of us, and he'll be like, "I wrote this song, and this is kind of how I want it to go on an electric guitar. Can you build all the other pieces around it?"
Sure.
And
That's
you know,
a pretty cool character to have around, I'd say.
and it's and then everyone's just like, "Here we go. This is now what the song sounds like." And you know, for the most, but for the most part, like he's really really good. I've never heard him like really critique me and be like, you can't play this and don't play that. So he's really open to let people interpret the song as they want to. And the best like example of that is he also plays in another band, and some of the songs he plays in both bands,
That's cool.
and they're different. So
That's
like
cool, too.
They're kind of the same, but like you can tell that it's the same song, but it's like, oh, this is not even like there's a longer break in here. Like this one has way more solos. This one like is like full of drum stuff.
My heavy song "Break These Chains" is totally different dynamic on acoustic than it is electric.
I think that was one of the coolest things, like going to see you at jam nights and stuff. Was first you got a pretty deep catalog of music already. You know, like playing the amount of songs you can play is pretty wide. You know, it's
Yep, I got quite a few right
you
now.
can just sit there and keep going and going. But like I said, you could throw it in drop D and play something a little bit lower and stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You can just keep going with pretty much anything. It was fun to see somebody get on an acoustic guitar and kind of play rock,
Cool, man.
like
I
some
appreciate
heavier
that.
stuff, because
I appreciate that.
you don't always see that. Not that you don't ever see it, but you
Right,
don't always
right.
see that. I mean, even on a local level, it's not something you see very often.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of fun to see that actually happening.
I just want to do songs like my own or covers that rock, and like I want to be able to, final goal would be like 3-4 hour show just where it just rocks, just keeps smacking in the face,
Yeah, dude.
song
Yeah.
after song. That's what I want to do.
I think you're on the right course. I think you've got everything right where you need it to be. I think you've surrounded yourself with the right group of people, and
I agree.
it's everybody here is kind of in it to help one another. Everyone in the Fort Dodge music community, it's so much deeper and well built than. I mean, hit up the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. They've got some awesome stuff going on. They help a lot of businesses and a lot of artists and musicians and companies and playhouses and the whole 9 yards. I mean, they're all about helping everybody out. I mean, there's a nice network of people up here helping
Very
people out.
cool.
We were talking Josh Mason, Regional Rock Hour, everybody in the bands around the area. So if you're up from the northern Iowa area, if you want to hit any of us up, we can help you find shows and things like that. Jump on a show with somebody or whatever. It's pretty cool up here, and there's a lot of places to play now. And I mean,
shit is temporary. We will
Yeah.
again.
yeah, man, it's
coming.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of fun. This might be a good time not only to sit down and record and do stuff, but network and book shows for future dates, because there's going to be future dates to book. So that eventually someone's going to have to book them.
Support those bars how you can.
Yeah, definitely.
Built something real nice.
Yeah. So.
Which one that is.
So yeah, I sat down with Clint for a little bit here and talked coronavirus. We kind of handed the mic back and forth, but Jesse Wilson also joined me.
Hey.
Yeah, got it right, Jesse Wilson.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody said the full name on that one, but
Jesse Wilson.
Jesse Wilson. Hey man, it's cool to actually, like I said, I went to a jam night in Barnum once, and I didn't even know who you were, and I haven't seen you play before, and like I said, you said you weren't very active, and then all of a sudden you're just like, I'm going to go to these jam nights and do these things and go do my own thing at these, play my own acoustic stuff. And it was just like, who is this guy? And all of a sudden you're like, man, this guy's pretty damn good. And then it's like, man, this guy's getting better, and then it's all of a sudden it's just
man.
like,
I appreciate
all of a sudden
that
it's
very
like,
much.
boom, we got this song. Check out this song, So he's got a song. It's recorded. We're getting it finished here. Not we, because I'm not doing it, but he's getting it finalized.
Sounds
He's
exciting.
getting a video. I mean, it's cool to see all this happen. So in the near future, check it out. If nothing else, make sure you shoot him a friend request or something, or follow him on Facebook. If nothing else,
Thanks, man.
I know
Appreciate
I know
it.
you can follow profiles on Facebook. So if you want to, go ahead and shoot him a friend request or follow him. Check out some of his stuff that he's got going on. Otherwise, we're gonna try our best to help set you up maybe with a YouTube channel, or clean that thing up, the one that you got, or maybe a Facebook page or something like that. Maybe get you an Instagram or something.
Cool. Put it in the link below, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to make
I like
it.
your style.
We're gonna try and make it official. So check it out. We're gonna have links below to anything that we can muster up here in the near future. And I'm gonna have this episode edited tonight and out tonight. So hopefully we'll get it up there. And yeah, man, thanks for joining me, Clint. Really appreciate you joining me. He's giving us the thumbs up on that one. Let's see. Any last words from
I
Clint?
love you, Peter Stockdale.
Appreciate it, Clint. All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. Oh, baby. There's another episode in the bank. It's good to sit down and talk to Clint again. It's always fun sitting down and talking with him, going to jam nights, seeing what he's up to. And huge shout out to Jesse for stopping by and jumping in on the podcast. I'm really glad I got to sit down and talk to him. I've seen him playing a lot recently, and he's getting some things done, recording a song and a video, and it's kind of cool. It's cool to see the community kind of coming together and all the musicians doing all the cool things they're doing. It's also really cool to see somebody kind of learn and grow and get better before your eyes, ridiculously fast. He's gotten really comfortable on stage. He's gotten really good at doing what he's doing. So, if you got a chance to see Jesse Wilson, check it out. Otherwise, stop by Barnum Jam Night sometime. Maybe not anytime soon with this COVID-19 stuff. But I'll tell you what, everybody just do what you got to do to survive until whenever, and then enjoy live music, because there's people writing music, recording music, putting out videos, putting out songs. It is going like gangbusters right now. So expect a big explosion of live music sometime in the near future. I will hopefully have another podcast episode up for you next week, and maybe we'll talk to some of these people that have been doing some stuff. I want to say, well, as last night, it would have been as you guys are hearing this, it would have been Wednesday night. But Wednesday night, Tank Anthony Band went live for like 3+ hours. You know, we were talking about it a tiny bit on the podcast. That's killer, man. It's just super cool to see people going out there doing their thing. Gigs are canceled, doesn't matter. We'll play a show anyways. Tune in live, Facebook, Venmo us if you want. You know, that's awesome. That's cool. So, you know, hats off to all the people working hard. You know, hats off to Jesse for writing music and having the guts to go up on stage and do it and put it all out there. Kudos, man. You deserve, you know, all the credit you can. It's amazing. I'm really proud of you for doing all this stuff. You know, it's one thing to write music, but it's a whole nother thing to go put it all out there and let it all hang out. So kudos. Everybody check out Jesse live. Check out Clint live. I got links down below to all their goodies. We did end up making a Facebook page and an Instagram page for Jesse, so check those out down below. Otherwise, I got Blue Ribbon Ramblers links down below for Clint. And I will check you guys, probably next week. Hopefully this whole thing blows over soon and everybody's good to go. So everybody stay safe out there. I will check you next week. Peace.